You see this man lying here? Emeka shouted, pointing a trembling finger at Chima. This man you all greeted every morning, this man you trusted with your wives, your daughters, your sisters, this man you called doctor with so much respect. He is no doctor, Emeka bellowed. He is a beast, a demon wearing a white coat. He drugged my wife, Emeka continued, his voice shaking. He drugged your wives, your daughters. All those innocent women who came for their antenatal care. Emeka soaked the whips inside the hot water. As the first lash landed on Chima's back, he screamed like a madman. Ah! Someone touched you, my wife, and you kept quiet. Why didn't you tell me? I didn't want to break your heart, she whispered. I was dying every day, living in fear, thinking of what that evil man could do. I was scared of losing you. Emeka dropped to the floor, held her and cried, Never, don't ever say you'll die. Nothing will take you away from me. You're my wife, my Nneka, and I will make him pay for this. Mercy stepped forward. I have a plan. We could use to bring him down. What do we do? Emeka asked. He was determined. He couldn't undo the pain Nneka had suffered, but he could make sure justice was served, without exposing her to the cruel eyes of the world. But nobody must know Nneka was one of his victims. He said, I'll protect her dignity, even if it's the last thing I do. For us to do that, we must act discreetly and disguise ourselves so none would ever find out who I am and eventually realize my wife was the victim. Mercy nodded, eyes shining with fierce loyalty. I'm ready, let's make him pay. The plan was now in motion. Mercy had arranged for a pregnant woman whose name is Ada to help them in their plan, and she would be paid generously. Immediately after hearing what had happened, she was deeply pained by Nneka's story and was eager to help bring Dr. Chima down. Ada arrived at the clinic early the next morning, dressed in a richly embroidered dark green hijab that covered her from head to toe. Her sunglasses were large, her lips calm, and her steps slow and elegant. Just like a rich politician's wife. The receptionist gave her a warm welcome after she presented herself as Aisha Ibrahim, the wife of a northern business mogul who had just relocated to Lagos. She explained that her regular hospital in Abuja referred her here for a private and experienced antenatal doctor. Dr. Chima quickly adjusted his seat when he heard her name. Aisha Ibrahim, he whispered, checking the appointment list. Big fish. He rubbed his hands together with a smile and told the receptionist to bring her in immediately. Ada entered slowly. She barely spoke above a whisper, answering his questions with gentle nods or soft "yes, doctor" replies. Dr. Chima was clearly impressed. He offered her a seat and gave her the usual lecture. You know, madam, water is very important before scan. If the bladder is full, the image of the baby will be clearer. He handed her the bottle. As planned, Ada let it fall from her hand. Oh, sorry, doctor, she said in a soft, nervous tone. She bent down quickly, swapped the bottle with the identical one in her bag, and sat back up, opening it. As she sipped, she also quietly activated the small camera planted in her brooch. Mercy had shown her how to set it up. The camera was connected to a device Emeka was monitoring from the car outside, parked not far from the clinic. Dr. Chima smiled as she finished the water. Good, he said. Now let's get started. You will lie down, and I'll begin the scan shortly. Ada lay on the bed. Dr. Chima rubbed the ultrasound gel on her belly and began speaking softly again about babies, blessings, and how special this moment was. Meanwhile, the drug wasn't taking no effect, as expected, because she had drank the one Mercy had given her. Within 10 minutes, Ada closed her eyes and pretended to pass out. Dr. Chima looked at her, smirked, and switched off the ultrasound machine. His eyes darkened with desire and evil. He walked to the door, locked it, and began undressing himself. Suddenly, the door flew open. Two masked figures stormed into the room, Emeka and Mercy. They wore black jeans, black hoodies, and face masks completely covered. Dr. Chima froze, shocked and half undressed. "What's going on here?" he shouted, stepping back. "You evil bastard. You touched my wife, recorded it, and blackmailed her. I will make your life a living hell today." Emeka rushed at him, fists flying, while Mercy and Ada grabbed the doctor's phone and laptop. Mercy checked the files and found folders named VIP clients, private records, and payments. She opened one. Videos, dozens of them. "Oh my God," she whispered, tears filling her eyes. One of the files had Naka's name on it. Another had a woman who looked barely 22. The pain was unbearable. "You bastard," she screamed and slapped him across the face, and went on to delete the videos in all device. Emeka dragged Chima to the hallway of the hospital, half naked, as nurses and patients watched in horror. Emeka dragged him out of the clinic, half naked. A small crowd had started to gather outside after hearing the commotion. Chima cried and begged, but Emeka threw him on the ground and continued to beat him. "You will feel the pain you caused my wife, and all the women you've blackmailed." Some neighborhood boys, he screamed like a madman, Emeka had quietly arranged, joined him. One, they tied Chima's hands and legs. Emeka counted every lash, up to 60, his voice thick 60 with rage. Times, one for every victim the doctor had saved videos confused. Others could already feel the storm in his words. "Well done, sir. You see, it was no longer just Emeka's fight. Emeka shouted, justice for pointing a trembling finger while some started filming with their phones. "This man you live videos flooded the internet. This man you trusted started spreading on social media. Your sisters, evil antenatal this man exposed in Lagos, with so women, much respect. Both victims and strangers." The crowd shifted uneasily. Some praised Emeka, mothers clutched their others cried, bellies, remembering young their men clenched their fists. Young and older women started reposting the video in shock. Married women praised Emeka for fighting for his wife. "He is a beast." They called him the lion husband. "Where can I find my own?" Emeka rippled through single the ladies commented. He smiled online at you, handed you bottles of water, told you to drink and relax. But hidden inside that sweet smile was pure evil. He paused, letting his words sink into their hearts. Some women had already started crying, remembering the strange dizziness they felt during their visits. "He drugged my wife," Emeka continued, his voice shaking. "He drugged your wives, your daughters. All those innocent women who came for their antenatal care. And when they could no longer move, no longer speak, he stole their dignity. He destroyed their trust." Sobs broke out. Men in the crowd shouted curses. Stones and empty plastic bottles were thrown at Chima, who tried weakly to shield himself. Emeka's face twisted with grief and anger. He bent down close to Chima's ear, his words low but sharp. "Today you will feel the pain you gave them," he hissed. "Today you will taste the fear you forced into their hearts." Standing tall again, Emeka faced the crowd. His voice grew louder, stronger, like a roaring storm, and to every other so-called doctor out there who is hiding behind clean coats but carrying dirty hearts, watch this. Your day will come too. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day someone will drag you out into the light, just like this. The crowd roared in agreement, shouting for justice, stamping their feet on the dusty ground. Emeka turned back to Chima, his fists clenching. "Let the world see what happens to monsters who pretend to be healers," he said, his voice steady now, filled with the kind of calm that only comes before a final blow. The thugs brought hot water. Emeka soaked the whips inside the hot water. As the first lash landed on Chima's back, "This man you all greeted every morning, this man you trusted with your wives, your daughters, your sisters, this man you called doctor with so much respect." The crowd shifted uneasily. Mothers clutched their pregnant bellies, young men clenched their fists. A few elderly women covered their mouths in shock. "He is no doctor," Emeka bellowed. "He is a beast, a demon wearing a white coat." A wave of gasps rippled through the people. "He smiled at you, handed you bottles of water, told you to drink and relax. But hidden inside that sweet smile was pure evil." He paused, letting his words sink into their hearts. Some women had already started crying, remembering the strange dizziness they felt during their visits. "He drugged my wife," Emeka continued, his voice shaking. "He drugged your wives, your daughters," watching everything on her phone from women who came for their antenatal care. Tears ran freely down her cheeks. And when they could no longer move, she hugged her belly and whispered, "He stole their dignity. Thank you, my love. He destroyed their trust, Mercy turned to Emeka. Men in the crowd shouted curses. The police will be here soon. Plastic bottles. Emeka didn't want to go yet, who tried but Mercy to shield himself. The sirens arrived minutes later, but Emeka and the women were gone. Close to Chima's ear. The police, after reviewing the camera left behind in Dr. Chima's office, confirmed everything. He hissed. Today they saw the video of how Chima undressed himself and was about to take advantage of the northern woman in an unconscious state. His voice grew louder. Dr. Chima had nowhere like to hide. A roaring storm. He was badly wounded every other so-called doctor was taken to the hospital, who is hiding behind clean coats but carrying Mercy and Ada got to Ada's neighborhood. Your Chima slowed down and stopped the car in front of her street. Maybe not tomorrow. Ada turned around and smiled. Someone will drag you out into the light. I'm so happy I could help you, she said. Even though I didn't know those women or what you both looked for justice, I'm glad I helped you fight on the dusty ground. Emeka smiled and handed her a big envelope. His fists clenched. Please take this. Let the world see what happens to monsters. It's what I promised you, who pretend to be healers. Ada shook her head quickly, his voice steady now. No, you don't have the kind of calm that only comes before a final blow. Emeka chuckled kindly. Water. I know, Emeka soaked the whips, but think of it as a gift. For you and your baby landed on Chima's back. Ada's eyes watered a little. She placed a hand on her tummy and smiled. She finally took the envelope with shaking hands. Tears welled up in her eyes. You are a rare man, Emeka, she said, her voice cracking. Your wife is lucky. Not many men in this world love like you do. Emeka gave a small laugh, almost shy. Thank you, Ada. Without you, this wouldn't have been possible. And may your baby bring you endless joy, Mercy said. They waved goodbye as Ada disappeared into her home, clutching the envelope close to her heart. Emeka and Mercy got back into the car and drove home. When they reached Emeka's apartment, something beautiful happened. Nneka, Emeka's wife, was already standing at the door, waiting for them. The moment Emeka stepped out of the car, Nneka ran to him. They hugged each other so tightly, they crashed into each other's arms like two people who had been lost for too long. Nneka began to cry softly in his arms. Emeka kept whispering in her ear, "It's all over now. No one will ever hurt you again. I promise you." Nneka kept crying, but they were happy tears. Then she hugged her sister Mercy tightly too. "Thank you," she said to Mercy. "Thank you for standing by me." It was a moment they would never forget. A moment where pain ended and healing began. 2 weeks later, something big happened. The news flashed everywhere, on TV, on the internet, everywhere. Dr. Chima was now healthy enough to be arrested. The police handcuffed him and took him away. Everyone watched the news. Chima was taken straight to the police station. The evidence was overwhelming. Video footage, testimonies from victims who took the courage to speak up. Even some of the drugged water samples the police had found. Under interrogation, Chima broke quickly. More victims were discovered as investigations deepened, but no names were released publicly to protect the women's dignity. 3 months later, Chima stood in court, humiliated, broken. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison for sexual assault, blackmail, and abuse of power. His medical license was permanently revoked. His once proud name was erased from the medical board. The public celebrated the justice served. But they never knew the full story behind it. They never knew about the woman or her husband who had moved mountains to protect his wife. Nneka lived her life in peace, untouched by gossip, unburdened by shame. She gave birth to a healthy twin babies, a boy and a girl, in a private hospital far away from the painful memories. The twins were perfect, tiny fists, bright eyes, innocent souls born from a storm but now surrounded by peace. As Nneka held her babies close, she whispered, "You two are the light after my darkest night." This story reminds us that evil can hide behind the most trusted faces. But with courage, unity, and faith, no darkness can stand forever. To every woman suffering in silence, speak up. To every husband, listen, protect, believe. To every sister, every friend, stand by her. And to every predator, your day of reckoning will come. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories that inspire, teach, and heal. And we'd love to hear from you. What lesson did you take away from Nneka and Emeka's story? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe, stay strong, and I'll meet you in our next story.